everybody, and welcome to Guys on Gaffr. My name is Joel, and I'm joined by Abhishek and David for a championship episode. It's our first longer form kind of championship episode since the season got underway. So we've got quite a lot to talk about, kind of taking stock and looking at what's been going on in the first 4 game weeks. How are you both doing?
Yeah, doing fine. First of all, good morning to you and afternoon to all my Asian listeners who are listening from India. It's for a change we are doing at a normal time for me. but yeah, it's good. Had a nice, the season has started nicely. So yeah, happy days.
The joys of bank holidays in the UK. Meaning that I'm not working right now, and Abhishek isn't recording at midnight.
Yeah.
It's always nice to have to get up early on the bank holiday, right?
Oh yeah, we totally started on time.
Yeah, no, but yeah, that's fine.
How are you, David?
Yeah, I'm good. My voice just went now, so I'll just drink some water, but you can start talking.
David is fine. David is no. I can't answer it for you, David. You're gonna have to tell us.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm looking forward to having a pod all 3 together again. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, nice.
So
we had the Super League one, didn't we? But not since then.
Yeah.
All right, so let's dive in by looking at how we got on in game week 4 and also game week 3. So, David, your game week 3 team is up. The reason we are bringing up game week 3 is just because David played a boost, so it'd be good to cover that off. Yeah, how have you been getting on in game weeks 3 and 4, David? How's your start of the season gone?
I think it's gone okay, but I think it's a bit inflated because I played 2 boosts. So in game week 3 I played midfield animals, which looked very bad until the last game when Sarah and Ro got some points. So it was a okay result, I guess, but game week 2 ranked 242 on the boost with 83 points isn't the best. I also had Ashby on the bench, but yeah, I should just stop saying players on the bench because I always have them, so no one's surprised. But yeah, it's I think someone will get better midfield animals, but I'm at least happy that I didn't get all blanks because that was a real possibility at some point during the week. So yeah, I'll take it, I guess. And yeah, game 4, which was this one, I played triple, and I'll be honest with you guys. The reason I played this boost is I'm such a sheep. I just saw people thinking about it and just okay, I can just join in, I guess. So that's probably why it hasn't worked out that well. Apart from Armstrong getting a goal,
yeah,
and Dewsbury Hall getting 2 bonus, Sarah getting nothing, and Rogue getting 14. So yeah, no, I think I probably will go down in rank some weeks during the upcoming games. But yeah, at the moment I'm overall rank 45, but I think that will drop. But who knows? Maybe people play it in a different week and it's not good as well. Because on the paper, these fixtures this week was very good. So yeah, could have been worse, could have been better. But yeah, I think that's it.
Still, it's a strong start.
I kept Perot though. That's what I'm happy with. I'm happy with keeping Perot when they went to Leeds, and Manning. So
yeah, nice.
And obviously Ro, the hero. When I finally started him, he kept going. That was the one where I had. But yeah, he's a legend.
Nice. Very good. Yeah, it's a strong start. As the cliche goes, we'll see where our ranks are after game week 15 when all the boosts have been played from the first set. But honestly, 45 is obviously a good start. It's obviously a very good start. Even playing 2 boosts, so it's good. It's very. I'd be positive where you are, definitely. Yeah. Abhishek.
Game week 3 did not play a boost, but scored 60 points, which I think it's okay on the outset. But on game week 3, I still had Nisbet, which in game week 4 we will not be able to see. But I still owned Nisbet. I was frustrated with him for for a change, and I took him out this week. Coming on game week 4, I think game week 4 it's a reasonable game week for me because I got 79 points in the end. Uh, got returns from Piro with his new club, Sargent, Broadhead, my man Mads of Preston, Manning finally showed up in his while he was at Swansea. So those four are my main contributors towards the total points of 79. But from that, yeah, got half clean sheets from ranking Castello, Ingram, Mumba, and I think Davis also got a half clean sheet. I may be mistaken. No, Davis did not got a half clean sheet. That's bonus, I guess.
Yeah, it was bonus. Interestingly, concede 4
Or did
goals,
he?
but still get
Yeah,
3 bonus. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
It's like,
that's
how's that the thing? Like, yeah, he conceded 4 goals, but look good doing it. Like, how
Well,
do you get bonus from that?
well, we're gonna do the
yeah,
bonus section. You'll see. You'll see.
yeah,
You'll
yeah.
see exactly
Okay,
why.
fine.
That's yeah, yeah. That's a mystery to me as well.
It's
But
not vibes,
79
David. It's done on
points gave me
stats.
a rank.
Sorry,
Wow.
sorry,
You would
Abhishek.
think so,
Interrupted
yeah.
you. Carry on.
Yeah, no, yeah. So 79 points fetched put me a game week rank of 610. So my overall boosted up to 812. So I finally broken into the top 1K. So that's nice. But there are some issues with my team because Stella has left the club. So and Sargent is also injured. So I need some decisions to make now. Looking at my team, but we'll talk about it more when we talk about our team selection. So yeah, 79 points in the end. So I'm happy with the start after 4 game weeks. You can say.
Nice, nice. My team then. So yeah, my game week 3 was 71 -8. So I took a big old -8, which went okay at the time. Like not great because I sold Yates. Obviously I've sold Nisbet as well, but kind of game week 4 things have kind of redeemed itself a little bit. So my transfer this week was Patrick Roberts, who was injured to 2 row, which worked out really well. Glad I finally got him in my team. It feels like that's going to be a transfer that would be always niggling away. If I didn't kind of get him. And this, honestly, this game week has been my first really positive game week of the season. The first 3 didn't go very well at all, really. There were a couple of average ones and one like really bad one. It's like my front 3 did really well. So obviously keeping Piro, as David mentioned, was really good. I'm really glad I've still got him because, obviously he was very disappointing the first 3 game weeks, but I think he should do really well on this Leeds team and could well become template very, very soon. So, particularly with the Sheffield Wednesday fixture coming up next week, I'm really glad to be on him already. Armstrong captain, did all right, and then Broadhead also scored, so got 7 from him. Manning 13 points. Ranking Costello came off the bench for Teller, who is another problem to solve this week, so won't be rolling the transfer again. Not managed to roll yet so far this season. So yeah, that's 84 points. My rank was almost hard from 1.3k to 708. So glad to have a good game week under my belt now and hopefully can push on from here. And also pleased to have not played any boosts, considering that some boosts have gone not brilliantly for other people, like this week's triple and the midfield down was last week. Sorry, David, I know you played both of those, but yeah, like it's good to know that the kind of I should be able to make up some good ground on when I play the boosts. So yeah. So one of the things I've done this season, which I've never done before, is like a proper stats spreadsheet that helps me track all the bonus and the underlying numbers and stuff, which honestly, like, because obviously I'm not kind of able to watch live championship all the time, is really, really helpful. And also I feel like I properly understand the bonus system for the first time, and I'm actually using it to my advantage for the first time. So yeah, I've got some stuff from the first 4 game weeks that I thought it'd be good to share, but also I thought it might make it interactive and stuff and ask you guys what you think's going on. So I'm going to go by position: defenders, forwards, goalkeepers, and I'm going to ask you basically, who do you think's doing well for all the different categories of bonus? So there's defensive actions. So 4 defensive actions gives you a baseline bonus point. Successful dribbles, 2 successful dribbles gives you a point. 1 per shot on target and 1 per key pass as well. So those are the 4 kind of attributes that make up the baseline bonus, and then obviously returns get you bonus, yellow cards take bonus off. But I just want to focus on those 4 things: defensive actions, successful dribbles, key passes, and shots on target, because these are really good indicators every single game of how players are going to do for bonus, and then returns you kind of add on top of that. So let's start with defenders. I'm going to ask you, to be honest, you're not going to get this first one, but who do you think is the best defender for defensive actions so far this season? Who has got the most defensive actions? Good luck, because this one's hard. The others aren't as hard. Any guesses?
I'll just say something random and hope it sticks then. Meg Fadgen.
Okay, Abhishek?
Yeah, I'm also going with. Hold on. I forgot his name. That's Watford guy. White, the Netherlands guy. White.
Wesley Hoot?
Is he called White? Yeah, Wesley Hood.
Well,
I'm going with him.
Abhishek, that is a good guess because he's 4th. McFadden isn't on my list, David, but it was a hard one, so I don't know who I would have guessed. I don't know who I would have guessed personally, so it's fine. But so we've got Sean Hutchinson.
Who's the top?
Sean Hutchinson is the top on 26 defensive actions so far. So that's the Millwall.
The Millwall guy.
Millwall, that is Millwall, right? The Millwall defender.
Yep.
And so if you divide that by 4, then that's like roughly equivalent to 6 baseline bonus points, which is actually a lot. So that's quite interesting. We've also got Tyler Blackett on 25 and Joe Edwards on 25, and these are players that just would not have been on my radar. And then Wesley Hoot is 4th on 23. There's other ones of note. Leif Davis, 22. So he's doing well from a defensive actions point of view, and as we'll see, he's kind of good at other. We already know he's good at other stuff anyway. And Ethan Laird has got 22 defensive actions from just 2 games. So he is looking like a bit of a monster. And then Ayling has got 21. So from a defensive actions point of view, those are kind of the top guys at the moment. What about key passes? Which defender do you think is best for key passes?
Key passes.
Let's see. I'm looking for the Stacey.
Okay. Abhishek?
I'm going with the other wing back pairing, Giannoulis.
No, neither of them have got many key passes. They're not on my list. I've kind of picked out the top few on my lists, like 10 or so. Neither of them are on the list, and I'm surprised neither of you said either Leif Davis or Ryan Manning, because they're the top 2. This is why Leif Davis is so good for bonus. He has got 16 key passes in 4 games. That is 4 key passes per game. That is a lot, and it is why he is so good for bonus. What? So if you don't have Leif Davis, you should have him. Ryan Manning was 2nd on 11, so there's a drop off from 16 to 11 there. So those are the 2 that clearly lead the way. Luke Ayling and Jay De Silva have got 8 each, and then we've got Callum Doyle and then Stevens on 6, and Ricardo Pereira on 6.
I was thinking about Luke Ayling and the Jay De Silva, because Coventry has been keeping clean sheets, so I kind of predicted that whether he will be, but Norwich are the form team, so I thought they are the high scoring team at the moment, so probably their wing backs should have been better. Well, it's great to see that the Norwich rating is not even in the top 10.
Something I'll mention now, by the way, as well, is that
how is Mamba? No,
Mumba's not on the list. What I will mention though is that I am looking at the classified by position the way the site FBref does. So it's doesn't actually perfectly line up with Gaffr. So there will be some earlier on, like in the forward section, there'll be midfielders and stuff. So it's a bit bit awkward, but yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, Ampadu is a midfielder on here, and he's got 23 defensive actions. So I should have mentioned him before. But yeah, so for key passes, Davis and Manning lead the way. Ayling and Jay De Silva have done well as well. So Ayling has appeared high up on both lists so far because he had 21 defensive actions, which is interesting because I didn't have him pinned down as someone who's good for bonus.
Yeah.
What about successful dribbles then? This is quite an interesting one. Who do you think might have the most successful dribbles of all the defenders?
Has to be Mumba. It has to be Mumba. It's no one else.
That was what I was going to say as well, but I'll say Davis again.
I can tell you it is not Mumba. It is not Mumba. He has got 8 successful dribbles, which is good. It's joint third on the list. So it is a good guess. It is a good guess. But top is actually Josh Key. So for those of you who have Josh Key like I do, that's a source of encouragement. He's got 11 successful dribbles in the first 4 games, which is quite impressive, really. And then Brad Potts is second. And then Jay De Silva is on 9. And then Jay De Silva is third on 8. And then we've got Kyle Walker-Peters, Ethan Laird, and Osman Kakai on 7. So Hoover's on 6, and Giannoulis is on 6. So those are some of the players who are good for successful dribbles. So again, Laird has appeared on the list, and he's only played 2 games because of injury. So Laird is a monster for defensive actions and for dribbles. So Laird is a really good player for bonus. And what that means is, if we're going to top everything all together, the players, this is the order of the top players in terms of baseline bonus points so far. So Leif Davis comes out on top with 21 baseline bonus points. Then Callum Doyle on 14, along with Ryan Manning and Ayling. So they're all on 14. Jay De Silva on 13. And actually Cameron Pring is on 12. He's kind of appeared around kind of 8th on all the lists. I've not mentioned him, but Cameron Pring of Bristol City's done quite well. And then Josh Key, Brad Potts, Ender Stevens, Ricardo Pereira on 11. Laird on 10 from only 2 games. Hoover on 10. So those are some of the players who've done well for bonus so far. Wesley Hoots also on 10. So Callum Doyle has appeared quite high on that list, which is interesting to me because I've not considered him as an option, but maybe he could be. But I guess the real takeaway is Leif Davis is really clear. He's 7 clear of second place at the moment. Okay, that's defenders. Midfielders. I'm going to skip defensive actions because we're not going to pick defensive midfielders, are we? Based off of defensive actions. So, and there's no one notable on that list. So let's go to key passes. You should get this. You should. Yeah. Which midfielder's got the most key passes? You guys should know.
Has to be Rowe, right?
David?
Has to be Rowe.
I'll just say something different because I think that as well, but Dewsbury Hall.
Neither of you got it. Dewsbury Hall is second, though. And it's Gabriel Sara. I thought that would be quite obvious, but...
Got the other Norwich midfielder.
Yeah, Gabriel...
Where is Rowe?
Rowe isn't even on the list. He's not been a key passes guy. And he's also obviously been subbed off early a few times. So, so yeah, because obviously Sara's been doing really well for bonus. Obviously this week he didn't get anything, but in the first 3 games he did. So he's had 19 key passes. Dewsbury Hall had 16. Loser 11. So obviously those of you who've got Loser, that's source for encouragement. And then the guys on 10 are Seri, William Smallbone, who's only played 2 games as well because of injury, Keshi Anderson, and Morgan Rogers. So Morgan Rogers is one to keep an eye on, particularly if Middlesbrough start to improve. And the other one I want to mention is Patino. Charlie Patino of Swansea has got 8 key passes in only 2 games. And he's going to be nailed, and so he could be very good for key passes and therefore very good for bonus.
Ozan Tufan of Hull, isn't he on the list?
No, he's not.
Everything seems to go through him, but if Seri is in there, shouldn't have.
Not for key passes, no.
Yeah. Okay.
A couple of players that appeared in the forwards list who are actually midfielders on the game to mention as well. Wes Burns, 13 key passes. So that's an interesting one from Ipswich. I know a certain someone in one of our group chats has identified Burns as a decent option.
Yeah, that's why he was excited. Okay, now I get it. Why he was so excited about Burns. Okay.
So that actually puts him third on the list. And then there's also Sorba Thomas, who's got 10. Clark has 8. And Roberts has 8. So they're doing reasonably well for key passes. So that's midfielders for key passes. What about shots on target for midfielders?
I'll stick with my premature guess of Fleming.
Yeah, and I think this one, Sarah gets my vote.
Sarah?
Yeah.
No, the answer is Fleming's a good guess. So the top player has 6, and Fleming has 4. Sarah does not appear on the list. He is a key pass merchant, but not a shots on target person.
What is with me this time?
He's got 3, to be fair. He's got 3 shots on target. So. The person who's top of the list, you just mentioned him, Abhishek. It's Ozan Tufan with 6. Oh no, he's not actually top. Wow. Sorry. There's a couple of players in the forwards list that are actually midfielders that are ahead of Tufan. Mavididi, 7. Vidigal, 7. Ozan Tufan, 6. Yeah. So Dewsbury Hall's had 5. Rowe, 4. Sinistera, 4. Carlos Alcaraz, 3. Gabriel Saro, 3. Schmodix, 3. So.
But hang on, before we move on, did you say that Rowe had 4 shots on target?
Yeah.
And he has 4 goals.
Good point. Well, clinical.
Wow. Okay. Very.
So we can expect some regression there. But obviously he's a great option, but probably won't be doing quite as well as he is now. Yeah. What do you think about dribbles? Who's particularly good at dribbling?
I'm not sure, but I'm going to say Frøsja Jensen because he seems involved.
Yeah, that would have been my guess, but just for the sake of it, let's go a different one. Let's go with. I don't think Sarah would be right. Who is another? I think that Stoke guy, Vidigal. I think he seems to be really. Yeah, he seems to be a lot of Neymar-esque dribbles he got.
Wow. So the two that are joint top on 12 successful dribbles are Siriki Dembele and Jack Clark. So we knew Clark was good for bonus already, and that is a big reason as to why he is very good for successful dribbles. Chair has 10, Edozie has 10, and Keshi Anderson also has 10. Yeah.
Gaffr season has started. We haven't talked about Chair at all. 4 games has passed.
Indeed.
That's the first mention we have.
Yeah, that's the first mention. Yeah.
Yeah, and then a few of the notable ones. So Patrick Roberts has 9, Fleming has 8. Those are the main ones. Mavididi 7. So that's okay. So yeah, that's dribbles, and then when you put it all together, Gabriel Sara comes out on top with 28 kind of baseline performance points so far. Dewsbury Hall 24, and then third on the list is Wes Burns 22, with Jack Clark, Mavididi, and Keshi Anderson all on 18. So those are the top midfielders for bonus at the moment. Fleming's on 15, Roberts is on 15 as well. Okay, forwards, I am going to skip defensive actions again. Key passes, I'm just going to tell you, I think, for the sake of moving things on. Nathan Broadhead has 8 key passes. So he's particularly good in that department. Apart from that, there's no one else that notable. Liam Delap has 7, which is interesting. Adam Armstrong has 6. And then in terms of shots on target, what do we reckon?
Shots on target. Sargent, Barnes, I don't know which forwards. Will Keane.
You can't say like 4. You have to you have to choose one.
Let's go with Josh Sargent.
Okay, David.
Okay, I'm gonna say Ugbo from Cardiff because he scores a lot.
Okay, so
It's a shout.
the winner is Matthew Godden on 8. Interestingly,
What?
closely
Ow.
followed by Josh Sargent. So good guess, Abhishek, on 6, along with Morgan Whittaker and Ryan Hardy, the Plymouth forwards, on 6 as well. Adam Armstrong's on 5. Nathan Broadhead's on 4. So yeah, Sims is on 4. So those are the guys for shots on target, and then dribbles. I will just say, basically, because most of them on the list are actually midfielders in the game who I mentioned just before, like Dembele. But Morgan Whittaker has 10 successful dribbles, so of the forwards, he is top. And Samuel Silvera, is he a forward in the game? 9. And the rest are all... Sergeant Broadhead have 6. So it's mostly mids, but when you put it all together, Whittaker is actually the top striker for bonus at the moment, which is interesting. 18. Broadhead is second on 17, and Sargent 15. So, so I guess then when you put all the positions together, you've got Gabriel Sara on top, second Dewsbury Hall, third Wes Burns, fourth Leif Davis, fifth, joint fifth, Keshi Anderson, Jack Clark, Mavididi, and Morgan Whittaker, and then Broadhead is next. Broadhead, Sam Morsey are next on the list. So there you go. Should we talk about Norwich?
Yeah.
So, which of you guys put Norwich high? Was it you, David?
Yeah, I put them 3rd actually,
Nice.
or 4th. I think 4th.
4th. Whereas I put them like 11th, and you put them bottom half, didn't you, Abhishek?
Yep.
And I think there was a lot of negativity surrounding Norwich at the start of the season, but they've started extremely well. In terms of their assets, like Sarah and Rowe, in fact, are looking near essential. With Sarah obviously being top for bonus, as we just talked about, with Rowe being so cheap. In terms of the third option, I guess we could talk about that for now. Would you say? I guess would you pick a third? Would you triple up at the moment? Do you think the likes of Adamida or a defender are kind of worth going for, or Ashley Barnes?
I've been thinking about Stacey, but yeah.
Yeah, I think like if you're tripling up on a defensive, let's say you already own 2 midfield players, tripling up with, if you treble up with Sargent, then I kind of guess that's okay. But he
Sargent,
has now become
sorry, yeah.
but he has now become injured, so that's a weird part. But I don't think getting Stacey or Giannolis is the right way to go. I think just keep with Sarah and go with Sarah and Rowe, and let Sargent become fit, because all you want is the attacking returns. And Norwich defensive assets haven't been producing their attacking returns. I think, whether in terms of key passes, as you mentioned earlier, key passes, they haven't been. I think couple of assists from Stacey in 4 games,
I think you've got one.
whereas the likes
Yeah,
of Sarah, yes, but the likes of Sarah, Sargent, Rowe, Barnes have more goals and assists among them. Fascinata as well. So I think the points basically lies in terms of Norwich, especially in the midfield and the forward areas. I don't think I will travel up with a defensive asset. Just travel up with once Sargent gets fit. Yes.
yeah. Any thoughts, David?
It could be the time to get one of the other strikers for Norwich when Sargent is injured, though. I don't know if who's going to start of those two, or if they both start, but could be something. They're pretty cheap.
Yeah, I mean Adam
Yeah.
Eder was the one who came on for Sargent, and I think Eder and Barnes probably both start most games. So I'm not interested in Ashley Barnes, but I'm certainly interested in Eder personally. He is just 6.5, so he's at a nice price point. And I think he's a really good option. Obviously, he got a mega haul at the weekend. So I think he's of great interest to me. I think Sargent was already of interest to a few people anyway before he got injured.
Yeah.
So if you need a new striker and you need a cheap striker, I would put him in and amongst that 6.5 bracket with the likes of your Broadheads and a couple of others as kind of the standout, one of the 2 or 3 standout options there. Personally, I wouldn't go for the defense. I mean, if you have, I wouldn't sell them. But from a defensive standpoint, they're actually not. They don't fare that well when you look at expected goals against. I know they have had to play Southampton, which will have skewed the data somewhat, and obviously fixture difficulty will be skewing the numbers a little bit. But they're like 8th bottom or something. Looking at the table, like they're probably not. They're not one to go out and buy, and obviously in the bonus section, Stacey didn't come up at all really.
Yeah, I think. I mean, when David Walker was with Huddersfield in Championship, Toffolo did really well. So maybe you can say that Giannoulis might be of some use during the course of the season. But as of now, looking at the attacking talent that Norwich has, I mean, investing in the midfield and the forward areas is the right way to go, rather than spending 6.5 in defenders. I think you could downgrade and upgrade in the midfield position.
Yeah, I'm with you. In terms of like their upcoming fixtures, I think they're all right. They're okay. They are. 1 second. It's Rotherham next.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's taking a bit of time to load. There we go.
Yeah,
Rotherham away, Stoke at home, Leicester at home, Plymouth away. So it's not bad. There's the Leicester game in there. Here's a question for you. If you don't have Rowe, i.e. you, Abhishek, I guess, leave it. Get him or leave him.
100% get him. Why not?
Yeah, it's really hard to not get him, and he was going to be my move, but that Sargent injury issue and getting if Ida starts, it has made me somewhat of a double doubt in my decision whether to get Rowe now or get in Ida now. But I think I will go with Rowe because the kind of form he is in, uh, until it fizzes out, I need to get those points because he has scored in every week minimum of 7+ points in the past 4 games. So he's an essential kind of guy as of now, and he plays in the attack. He plays in the wing alongside the likes of Sargent and Barnes. So he will get those returns. So I think, yeah, I think 90% I'm going to get Rowe now, and 10% to Ida. May change depending on what news regarding Sargent injuries come to light in the next few days.
I think the thing with Rowe is he's startable. So I was kind of thinking back in my mind, at some point I need to do James to Rowe, and I'm always going to have more important things to do, particularly with the transfer window still open and the issues that we've got. And then, so I realised this week with Roberts being out injured that because he's startable, I will probably end up upgrading James later. But I needed to transfer out Roberts, and Rowe's probably the best one to go to. He had a good fixture, and let's just get him in now before he goes up anymore. So that's kind of why I got him. So like he's startable, but also like I will sell James and upgrade him to a different midfielder, and then Rowe will become like my 5th midfielder eventually. But for now, I'm happy to have him as in my team.
Yeah, and also I think if you look at the next 10 fixtures of Norwich, they face Leeds and Leicester within those 10 fixtures, but both of those fixtures are at home. Norwich are at home this season is really looking good. That so they're gonna be very much attacking in these home games with the home crowd in there. So yeah, I think it's time to invest on Row and the likes of Row, Ida. If you want, now is the time, really.
Cool.
Instead of going defensive Norwich assets, I think you can go to midfield and forward assets.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on Norwich?
No, I think I've made my thoughts clear.
Okay, let's talk Leeds now. Now,
Mm.
Leeds are very interesting. They obviously they started the season quite poorly, the first two or three games, but now players who were refusing to play a couple of weeks ago are now back in the fold. Obviously, Everton have kind of ended their pursuit in Nonto. I think the price tag was too much. We've brought in Harrison instead, for example. So I think that ship has sailed now, and that's okay. Sinistera had an issue as well, where I think he refused to play, and he's come back in. You've also got Somerville, who's come back from injury, and then they've signed Pirro. And all of a sudden they've gone to Ipswich and they scored 4, and they've got some good options in there. Now, Pirro is someone who has frustrated so far, but coming into that Leeds side, if you had him and held him, good job. I think that was definitely the right decision. Do you guys think he's going to become a must-have soon in this Leeds side? Do you think it makes him an even more attractive option than he already was at Swansea?
The difference is that when Bamford is back, he's going to have competition, I guess. But right now, I think he could be a very good pickup.
And the thing is, even though if Bamford gets back, I don't think Pirro will be will be dropped. I think he will add Bamford alongside Pirro, and that the quartet of forwards that Leeds gonna play is Bamford, Pirro, Noto, and Sinisterra. That's good as you're gonna get, especially in the championship level. That's really exciting forward four, if you ask me. And with the likes of, if you compare with the likes of Leicester, Southampton, and Norwich, they are going to be up there. So when Bamford comes back, I don't think Pirlo will get dropped, but I think he will become a near essential because Pirlo did not have that much service at Swansea, and look at the numbers he put up there. He's now gonna get service from Sinisterra. He's now gonna get service from Noto. He's now gonna get service from Dan James when he comes on. He's now gonna get service from the likes of Ampadu and the others. Uh, Eiling can cross. From Byram can cross as well. So he's gonna get those chances, and he bloody knows how to put those chances into the back of the net. So at 10 million, a Leeds forward, that's a no-brainer, really, in my opinion. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's an interesting point you make about Bamford, David, but I think I would have thought Bamford would come in for Rutter, who started at the weekend. So I would have thought it would be Rutter and Pirro. Sorry, Bamford and Pirro rather than Rutter and Bamford. So yeah, I do think most people are going to be on him soon. I'm just looking at the average positions from the weekend, and Nonto was right up alongside Pirro. He was playing on the right, but he was the furthest forward. He was almost as far forward as Pirro in that game. So Nonto is one to look out for sure. So yeah, I think the midfielder is going to be difficult to nail down because they are more expensive right now.
Yep.
I have to replace Teller, and with the Sheffield Wednesday fixture, I think I will punt on one.
Yep.
If I was to choose now, maybe Nonto, but I'm not 100% sure. I think, yeah, that's where I'm going to go because it's at home to Sheffield Wednesday. There is really high upside, and I think I've got to go for it. So that's my plan. What was interesting? Did you guys see that Cody Drammer came on? I'm guessing for an injury.
Yeah.
After like 25 minutes and was off at half time.
Yeah.
He made a couple of awful errors, one of which led to a goal, to Broadhead's goal, which is like a misplaced back pass
So was he subbed back off because he played badly?
Yeah, well, it wasn't an injury, so drama is apparently very out of favour with Daniel Farker. So yeah.
That's I don't think Drama will be. I mean, he will be a big part player for Leeds, and if he doesn't go now, then he's definitely going in the January transfer window. Because Fark doesn't favor Drama at all. Because albeit mistakes, you need your please some of the players manages to trust those players to at least play that match. But he's so out of favor with him, and with alongside those mistakes, he just hooked him off after what 20 minutes. Did he
So
play 20 minutes?
so he came on for Sam Byram after 25 minutes because Byram got injured, and then he went off at half time for Shackleton. So he was put on at left back, sorry, not left wing back. Because of the injury, so he was sort of out of position, not in his most natural position. But yeah, he lasted. He was on the pitch for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean that's that's clearly saying that Park doesn't favor Roma.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm stay. I mean, he will. It will be better for him to move elsewhere because if that doesn't happen this window, certainly next window, because he's not gonna stay there for long because Falk will not pick him. So yeah, I think in terms of what you say is the midfield, the points lie on the midfield. If you already have Piro, you've already sorted with one Leeds player. So I think yeah, Gnotto is the one that really interests me because after when he apologized to the manager and to the club, I think he is fully focused on getting his numbers up in terms of performance so that he gets a move if he gets a move in January without causing much trouble. So I think he will be much more eager to now to play for Leeds. Sinisterra, still have doubts because that's a different issue. Whereas Gnotto is fully committed to Leeds now, so I think I might go Gnotto now instead of Sinisterra until that window closes. Although it's one game, so may put my bet on that extra 0.5 million on Gnotto than on Sinisterra.
Who do you pick out of those two, David? That's because I've got to think about this week.
It depends on what other transfers I do because I have two transfers, but so if I just go one move, I can go from Mavididi to Sinstera in one move.
Okay.
But if I do two, I can get a defender for Castagna, who I still have for some reason, and get more money to Gnotto. So, but the problem I have is I have too many good players, so I will always get someone that's good on the bench. But I guess that's a luxury problem and not I need to change my thinking about this. I think because it's better to have a good squad than not having anything. I guess. But,
yeah. But if you take all of those considerations out of the picture and just compare Sinisterra and Gnotto in your head, who do you think is the better option for Gaffr? I guess that's what I'm interested to know.
Probably Gnotto.
Okay.
Because he plays so much more forward and he's not that expensive, I guess, compared to what he can deliver.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. I like look at Gnotto's positioning, but I've just seen that Sinisterra had 4 shots on target and looked like I think he's probably slightly better for bonus. So
okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but obviously it's a very small sample size. So obviously Gnotto could do well for bonus over a longer period of time. So we've not really had loads to go on there. So we'll see. Cool. That's Leeds. What next? What should we talk about next? The promoted teams? Not Sheffield Wednesday, because there's nothing relevant from a Gaffr point of view, unless you fancy a 4.5 defender playing out of position in Delgado, but they're just a bit rubbish, aren't they? It's fair to say Ipswich have started very, very well. Obviously 3 wins and a defeat. They gave it a good go against Leeds. And Leif Davis is essential if you don't have him already. But let's talk about the attackers, I guess, because we've got George Hurst. We've got Connor Chaplin, and we've got Nathan Broadhead. If you were to pick the best attacker based off what we've seen in the first 4 game weeks, where would you look? I've got Broadhead, and I'm happy.
It's like super difficult because this is like one of the only teams that the forwards in the Gaffr game, 3 of them play. It's just like we're used to like one of them forwards playing, and just the rest of the forwards are mids, really. But yeah, you can only choose one.
I forgot to mention Caden Jackson, who started at the weekend as well.
Oh, what, really?
So actually, at the weekend, it was a front 4 of Burns, Chaplin, Broadhead, and Jackson. So Hurst didn't start. He might have been injured, actually. It rings a bell. Let's see. Yeah, he wasn't on the bench, Hurst, so I think Hurst was injured.
Okay.
So probably Hurst is first choice, actually, but yeah.
I guess it's between Chaplin and Broadhead then. Do you have any stats on who's like performing the best, because they are doing well both, but like who's going to keep it up?
Yeah, okay. In terms of kind of the stats comparing the forwards, if you look at... Actually, the player who comes out on top is Wes Burns. Now, I would F3 Ipswich, so I can't go to Wes Burns. But he's really good for expected assists. So he's had in fact, let's not do per 90 minutes. Let's do total. Two expected assists, whereas Davis has got 1.4 and Broadhead 1.1 so far. But obviously Broadhead was the one who came out in the bonus quite a bit along with Burns. So I think it is probably those two. In terms of Chaplin, he does come out quite well, actually, though. He's third so in terms of expected returns. So we've got 2.7 expected returns for Wes Burns, 2.1 for Broadhead, 2 for Chaplin, 1.6 for Leif Davis. So Chaplin's a good option. But I think for me, of the forwards, it's Broadhead, and Burns is a good option in the midfield. Yeah. I think that's what I would say anyway. So it looks like the likes of Hurst. I mean, Hurst comes out all right in the data, to be fair, because obviously he's had fewer minutes. But I think, as does Jackson. I mean, Jackson and Hurst both come out well in the data, but they've got a smaller sample size because they've played fewer minutes. So I'd monitor them. I wouldn't ignore Jackson and Hurst. I'd just monitor them, particularly Hurst, assuming he's first choice, and see how he does. But yeah, for now it's Broadhead.
Yeah, I think my pick will be still to go Broadhead first, and then I still stick out for Chaplin, I guess. Although Burns has a higher expected assist, he is higher on the expected assist column. But I think if you have other 6 million players like Preston's Mads is doing well, so if you really want to invest on a 6 million midfielder from Ipswich, I think it can say that yeah, Barnes is getting onto those attacking positions really well. But the first name that is going to come up ahead of Barnes to score those goals are going to be Broadhead Chaplin. Yeah, the numbers do favor Barnes, but in terms of scoring goals or getting those into people, I mean, maybe he has some bad luck here in getting those positions and not scoring, or when he assisted those goals, it was saved by them, saved by the goalkeeper. But he hasn't been putting up those numbers as compared to Chaplin and Broadhead. But yeah, certainly Burns can be an option. But I think my top three options will still be Davies, Broadhead, and Chaplin. It will be my fourth option. I'm not going anywhere near him, so I'll get other opinions from the community.
Yeah, I would say Burns over Chaplin personally, because I don't think 2 Ipswich strikers make sense in terms of wanting other strikers. So I would probably say, yeah, Burns, Broadhead, Davis. One other thing to mention, and again, fixture difficulty will have played a part in this, but for those of you who are on the Dieng, Hladaki, I've said that wrong, but double up in goals. Middlesbrough actually have done slightly better from an expected goals conceded point of view, but I do think fixture difficulty plays a part in that, because obviously Ipswich have had to play Sunderland, they've had to play Leeds, Middlesbrough they've had to play West Brom, but I don't think their games have been as hard generally. So I wouldn't put too much stock in that and look at fixture difficulty when making the decision. But I mean, I am blocked out of that third Ipswich outfield player at the moment, which I don't love. I'm not in a rush to get Burns or anything, but it might be good to get him at some point.
Yeah, to be honest, I think personally, I think Dieng is a sell now. Even at that price, look for a better keeper. Ladakh is still, you can hold him, as you mentioned, due to fixture difficulties, and Ipswich are looking at better side than Middlesbrough already, because these are the two sides that I tend to keep following on, because two of my ex-coaches from United are managing those sides. Middlesbrough are not looking, that Carabao is not working as of now, and there are too many changes going on in here, and there are too many new players have come in, and they don't look like a settled squad. So if you don't have to do any move, getting Dieng out might be a good decision after all. I don't know about you guys, but to me, I don't think Dieng. I think it's time for Dieng to go and invest in a better keeper.
What do you think, David?
I'm not sure it's worth a transfer, but if you don't have anything else to do, sure. But I think many do with all these injuries and stuff. So
I agree. I think there are certainly much better goalkeepers out there. It probably is. If you were to do a wildcard team, you would pick maybe a 5 million keeper or something.
Yep.
But if I would only make the transfer if I had 2 free transfers and I didn't feel any need to sell any other assets in my team, and it was like, it's burn the transfer or make the keeper transfer. It's like it's not worth making those changes in Gaffr, because the ceiling on goalkeepers is really low.
Yeah, and people most have seen either have Dieng and one other, so like Ladke or Hazard or something. So if I was taking a keeper out, I would not take out Dieng, I would take out Ladke, because that would free up an Ipswich spot. So then I would just have Dieng on the bench either way.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not doing 2 keeper transfers. So like,
Yeah.
I can't see a situation unless I overhaul that I take him out actually.
Or if Jeepers Keepers comes up in the second set, I would probably sell him.
But that's like ages away, so I probably will have a different team by then.
Yeah.
So it's not a priority for me at the moment. But yeah, I can see.
I think if you have a transfer to burn and not have any injury issues related to your team, then certainly you can do it. If you're on a wild card, and certainly do not pick Dieng now to play overhaul. But yeah, I think I'm seeing Dieng bench much more than I was seeing Dieng at the start of the season. So
yeah, he got more points this week than Ladke, so he still can get something.
Yeah, I mean, that combination of Latke and Dieng doesn't look like it's a good decision from the start, but hopefully someone needs to get something out of it. Hopefully his performances improve.
Yeah. The other promoted team that started reasonably, I mean, in terms of style and looking like they can be comfortable in the division, is Plymouth. And I think we shouldn't sleep on Morgan Whittaker looking at his data. Obviously, he did quite well in the bonus. And he has an average of 0.36 expected goals per 90, which is good. That's more than a goal every 3 games. And he's got similar expected assist numbers, which adds up to 0.66 expected returns per 90, which is very, very good to start with. And actually Hardy is on about the same, but most of that is coming from expected goals and not assists, so maybe fewer avenues to points. So Hardy's also done okay. So that's quite interesting. I still think Whittaker's probably the better option. I think he's obviously slightly better for minutes, better for bonus, and I would anticipate he would overtake Hardy in those numbers. Yeah, it's difficult because obviously there's only 3 striker spots, and there's obviously good premium options like Perot and Armstrong. But for that one other, at the moment we're looking like we don't want to go for an 8.5 sort of mid-price one, particularly with Sargent injured. I think if Sargent was fit, maybe we would. But considering we're looking at between your sort of 6 and 7.5, Whittaker is one of those that I would put in that bracket as options alongside your Broadheads, your Adam Eders, and stuff like that. Yeah. Any thoughts on Plymouth from you guys?
I mean,
it's a more general thought, but like the third striker spot is like difficult because I can't see myself using it too much because I have 5 midfielders most of the time. But I kind of want that cheap the forward anyway, but I can't see where to play him. But yeah,
who's your third forward right now?
Semedo, but yeah, I want to get rid of him for either Whittaker or like Ipswich striker. But I have so many good defenders and midfielders, so that's super hard to choose.
So you can play like 3-5-2 and 4-4-2.
Yeah, that's like what I've been doing, but it's easier. I feel like it's easier to bench defenders than forwards if I get one good.
In case of David, I think if you are not going to play a third forward, but then don't go for Whittaker as a replacement for Semedo. Go for a much cheaper one who will not play week in week out, because you don't want to leave too many points on your bench and get frustrated every week like you have in the past.
But at the same time, I'm like not struggling for budget if I sell Castagna, so I could like have him on the bench, and when he has a good game I can like sub one of my playing players out. I think that's a strategy as well. But
that's a strategy. Yeah, that's a strategy. But if you're going for Whittaker, he's going to be involved in everything that Plymouth does, because so far in 4 games, everything that Plymouth does has gone through 3 players. That's Mumba, Hardy, and Whittaker. None of them has, not other players haven't been mentioned much. These 3 players are cut above the rest. Maybe you can ask, say Hazard as well, but in terms of he's a goalkeeper, he's not your attacking option. But in terms of attacking option, Aziz can be another option as well, but he's slowly starting to get forward. But if you're looking at Plymouth, let's say Plymouth has home games coming up, you're gonna bet on Whittaker scoring those goals. If you have other rest of the 7 players, if you're not starting Whittaker, then that's a transfer I would prefer not to do. But if you're going to start playing Whittaker as well, but the reason I tell you that, because you're gonna, that 5th midfielder spot is currently occupied by Rowe in your team, right? And you're not gonna bench him.
No, I'm not going to have him as my 5th. He will be my 4th, but like, yeah, it's a bit difficult, but because seeing how good Whittaker is, I feel like I should change my strategy to play 3 forwards.
Yep.
Because he looks like such a good player. But yeah, I'll just have to get to terms with that. We'll always have a good player on the first bench, but I think Whittaker should be a priority actually, because he looks so good, and I'm
it's difficult.
I'm in need of a third striker.
There's loads of good options as that third striker, because I know you like Ugbo, and Ugbo is also 6.1. So like that third striker, there's so many good options. There's Ugbo, there's Broadhead, there's Whittaker, and they're all 6.1. For some reason, I thought Whittaker was more expensive, but he is only 6.1. Then you've got Will Keane as well, who I probably wouldn't go for, and then Adam Eder at 6.5. So like there's loads of good options.
Yeah, so whoever you go, however you go about it, you should probably have at least one of them, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Because they're so good. And I see very many that don't play their third striker, me included. So that could be like a mistake, because we focus so much on the midfielders that can like be more like hit and miss actually than the striker that's like nailed and is the focal point of a team, even though it's like Plymouth is doing very well for himself, and they have good games as well. So I think I need to have a think about this actually, because I don't want like to miss out on good points even just because I default to a different formation that doesn't allow it.
I think going into the season, I was expecting the best third striker to be actually a mid-price striker, like a 7.5 to 9, and it's not turned out that way at all. The only one that would have been probably a popular pick is Sargent before his injury, and right now it is looking like the value can be found in these cheap strikers over and above your kind of players like your Sims, your Nisbets, Bradshaw, all these kind of mid-price strikers that are looking a bit inconsistent. So, yeah, and I wonder if we'll get to a point, if there's ever a point where Pirro and Armstrong are both become non-options for whatever reason, be it injury or something else, then maybe we'll end up having two of them and pumping a lot of money into the midfield. That could become valid. It'll be interesting to see how it develops. I think for now you probably do only just want one cheapy, but maybe the Leeds mids are back on the menu and we need a couple of them. Who knows? We'll see. Yeah, interesting. Last thing before questions, I think we should talk about is probably just a bit of Leicester, because Leicester have good options, but they've not been as free scoring as we perhaps expected them to be. They've won all 4 games by a single goal, so they're doing the job. But you know, Dewsbury Hall, we all know about him, and we all know he's essential. But I'm perfectly happy to just have Dewsbury Hall at the moment. What do you guys think? Do you guys think there should be? I mean, do you have Mavididi? Because I personally think Mavididi is slightly overrated. I think he's okay, but at 9, I'm really not.
Yes, I do have him, but that was just like a bit of a vibe pick for me because I was like excited for him coming to the league, and I've like played with him in FIFA and stuff. So yeah, but yeah, I'm thinking about getting him out for a Leeds midfielder. I think it just seems like lots more better value for that much money anyway. Just like Nonto and are the same and since they are the same price basically, so they seem better, even though Leicester are good, but not at the moment as good as Leeds could be. I guess it's a bit risky, going both ways, but like
Yeah, I mean, in terms of from Leicester's perspective, what frustrates me most is that they're leaving it way too late to seek for that winning goal. I mean, that's making me frustrate a bit for that Leicester second pick. I only own KDH, but for the second, I really want to own because looking at those fixtures that they have in the next 10, but they really frustrates me because they're scoring goals in after 85 plus minutes in the last 3 games, I guess. That's not saying much. They haven't been able to gel up well. That's saying that they haven't been able to gel up well. So it's really hard to pick that second spot. I know everyone has gone to Ricardo or maybe Didi, but I still don't feel like investing on any of them until I see a consistent run of games where I see Leicester performing well. So I'm happy with KDH so far. I'm not going to that. It's a necessity to double up. I'm not going on to that route. So something to think about from both Leicester's perspective and from a Gaffr perspective. That they're leaving way too late, and every time that the last goal scorer is a different one. Cassady scored last week. Mavidi scored the earlier week. KDA scored the earlier week. So it's really tricky. I mean, yes, I mean, only in game week 4, I think Leicester assured of the points, I think, within that 80-minute mark. With McAteer scoring both the goals uh, early in both halves. So, yeah, it's a wait and watch for me for the second Leicester
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah, I agree. I can see myself owning Doyle in the future. Like, he's the sort of player I'd put in an overhaul because of his decent bonus record. But from a defensive standpoint, they're no more solid than other teams a lot at the moment. Yeah, Mavididi is the sort of player who he can return any game, but he can also, I think, go a bit missing and not show up well on the bonus side of things. McAteer, I'm going to keep an eye on just because he's 6, and if he's going to be nailed and
Yep.
is going to look like he's going to be, chipping in with goals and assists like he did obviously against Rotherham, then obviously he could be a very good option. But I suspect his minutes are a bit of a question mark. So, I wouldn't jump on him now because he got a brace against Rotherham, but he's one for the watch list. And Iheanacho, I mean, the striker spots are weird. Like, Iheanacho is the sort of striker I'd expect to tear up the Championship. He's that good, but nothing yet.
Yeah, and the point where you said, Abhishek, about like them scoring late, that's not going in his favor because he's been served up off at 67, 76, and 59 the last 3 games. So even if the Leicester score a goal in the game, he's probably not on the pitch for it.
Yep.
They just seem to be doing just enough to win.
Yeah.
They're not.
I guess not top tier sides either, like Rotherham and Cardiff and Huddersfield. Like they're just edging it, so that like it's not looking so good actually.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
They have lost a new player, so they probably just need some time to gel. I think they're still like top promotion candidates, but not right now. For Gaffr, I guess.
Yeah, they have, as I said, they haven't yet quite gelled yet. I think after international break, we will see a new Leicester side that's much more cohesive within that side. They're gonna good attacking run and score goals. So it's a wait and watch for me as of now. But KDH, it's enough for me.
Yeah, cool. Right, let's go into questions. I think we've had a few come in.
Yeah, actually, lots of questions came in like lately. So we have some questions. I can take the first one from Billy Hadaway. He has 2 questions actually. One, optimal bench setup this season. With the emergence of Rowe, are we seeing a shift towards playing 5 in midfield and sacrificing one of the forward spots? So you can answer that first.
Interesting question.
I think.
I mean, I would say have probably a bit of flexibility in there to sometimes play 3-5-2 and sometimes play 3-4-3. So have Rowe as your 5th midfielder and have your cheap striker, and probably have one of them on the bench each week is probably optimal. I'm not in that position yet because I still have James, but I will eventually sell James. So I envisage, so like for me personally, for my team, I envisage my favoured bench strategy to get to eventually would be I've got Kakai as my 4.0 defender, and I actually think he's a better option than I first thought in Game Week 1 because QPR are a little bit more solid. So Kakai plus a midfielder that's either Rowe or, let's say, I've got another like 6 million midfielder, like rotating depending on the fixtures. So like my 4th and 5th mids, and the cheap striker.
So you're going to pivot to always having 3 defenders and not like more, even though they are so good for bonus and stuff.
I've not explained that very well. Sorry. I've also got like obviously 4 I think I've got 4 playable defenders plus Kakai. And sometimes I'd often play 3, depending on the fixtures. So actually, the more I think about it, it's becoming clear now. I might edit some of this out. Okay, can I start my answer again? I'm going to start my answer again and edit it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so the bench that I can see myself moving towards is I've got 4 playable defenders and Kakai would almost always be on the bench. In fact, he'll always be on the bench, but he's okay as a bench option at 4.0 because QPR aren't as bad as we kind of first thought. And then I see the other 2 options being 2 from my a forced defender based on fixtures, my 4th and 5th mids, and my cheap striker. So two of those 4 would be benched. And I think having that flexibility and being able to rotate between the fixtures is probably going to be good this year. I think we'll have the budget to do so. So it would be like Kakai and then 2 of Rowe, maybe like a 6.5 mid Broadhead and like my worst of my other defenders like Key or Rankin Costello or whoever's got the worst fixture. So that's me.
Yeah, I think for me, it's I have I always stick with four midfield players. So my fifth one will always stay on the bench, and it will be a playing bench. I mean, he's gonna chip in with a defensive midfielder per se. So currently, I have Luongo of Ipswich in that fifth midfield spot, and I don't think I will change unless I play midfield dynamos. Then I will think about changing. Apart from that, he will forever stay in my bench. As Joe mentioned, my fifth defender spot will be like, for example, Kakai as well. I have Bagan, who is not in the team. He will become a 4 million defender soon, and he will be a playing defender, but will always be on the bench as well. So the only rotating one will be one, whether I rotate with my defenders, whether I rotate with my forwards. That's the optimal thing that to me. So it my forward of third forward spot is not sacrificed in that way, and I'm also not sacrificing my third defender spot. So that's my optimal way of thinking or playing the Gaffr this season, at least after seeing the 4 games. So for me, I'm not sacrificing my one midfield spot for my forward spot. If I can make myself clear.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the team I like want now. I can like see that there will always be like 6 players that I will want to play every week, like Dewsbury Hall, Rowe, Sara, probably Nanto, Pirot, and Armstrong. So those I can play even if I play 3-4-3 or 3-5-2. So, but the thing I'm like wondering about going forward is like where will I make my gains if those are like not moving from my team or to my bench or anything? Will the players that I like rotate in my side be the fifth midfielder or third striker or like defenders? Because then I will probably like have to bench the ones I buy because there's no place to put them in. So I'm not like sure. Is like am I only getting gains from my captaincy picks that could be like most weeks very template? So I'm not sure if doing that is a good way to go about it. But like there's so many players in my team that I feel like I can't bench like no weeks. So it's a bit difficult. So I understand why he asks that question because it's the difficult situation.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, second question from Billy. Now that Sargent is out, is Ida or Barnes a better Gaffr asset? We can just say that quickly. I think Ida is better because it's cheaper.
Yeah, me too.
Both of
Should we
them
just
will
go-
start, but I think Idea will want to pick.
I think he's
Let's
got more
just
avenues
go,
to points as well. I think he
yeah.
can get assists as well. That's good.
Very good. Okay, so next question is from Angus. He says, which player linked with the transfer away do you hope most stays with the club? That's the first question. He has two as well.
I think Iheanacho for me. That has, the transfer rumors have quietened down a bit, but that's the only person that I think I don't want now leaving so close to the transfer window. Personally, from Graffer's perspective and from Leicester's perspective as well, because they will then need a striker because Vardy will not be available to play 90 minutes every week. They need Iheanacho there, and I am hopeful that he will stay now. But who knows?
I don't have any strong opinions personally. I would have said Teller, but obviously he's gone now. But honestly, I don't have any strong opinions. And yeah, Teller is the one I would have said. I do really like him, and it would be good to have him as a fantasy option in the league. But I can't say I have any particular similar feelings towards anyone else. So.
Yeah,
Maybe
I would
Key
say,
Adams?
yeah, maybe that. But yeah, I would say now that the Leeds midfielders are back in contention, I would hope they just stay because they if it's a good vibe now, then suddenly they get sold again. It's like back to square one. So
It'd be good for the
Well,
Gaffr game, wouldn't it, if Nonto and Sinistera were options?
yeah,
were good options.
we need some cheap, no expensive players in the game, because it makes a bit for some interesting decisions, and not like just switching between the cheap players that we always have.
Exactly.
So,
yeah,
I hope they stay. Second question: and which realistic player do you hope a championship club signs before the deadline? So realistic, not like the dream transfer, but like who do we think could sign?
Who's realistic? It's a good question.
So it could be anyone,
Maybe-
like not like linked as well. But
Maybe Keenan Davis. I think Hull were looking to sign him. He might be a good option in the championship because he's not going to get started at Aston Villa. So it might be time for him to get a move.
Yeah, he needs to get
Especially-
minutes under his belt, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
if he goes there, then I think Hull is making something special as well. So he could be like the final piece that can make their attack very good. They have Twine, they have Tufan, they have Syed Mahanesh when he's back,
Yeah.
and the lap as well. So yeah, and the Superman. They have so many players, but
Yeah.
he's like a target striker, I think, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yep.
It would be good to see Tom Cannon get some more championship experience under his belt, I think, from an Everton standpoint, whether it's at Preston or somewhere else. So maybe I would say him. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Next question from Ronred9. Have you looked at optimal weeks to play boosts for those still packing 3? Yeah, so not those weeks that's already gone, basically, but looking forward. I see some people talking about playing boost this week and coming weeks. So do you have any ideas?
Yeah. I mean, Gameweek 5 is the obvious one because we have been talking about a lot. And it's quite tricky because from 6 to 15, one team has a decent fixtures, the other two don't have decent fixtures. They have tough fixtures. So it's really going to be those who have 3 boosts left. They have to think about it before playing the boosts because there is no clear cut weeks that stand out. At least to me, I don't see. Maybe game week 11, apart from game week 5, you can say, but that's decent for one team. The players that you have from the other teams, that's not decent for them. So you have to, I think, really bit now see how the teams that you have players from really performing in the next few weeks. If you are going to, let's say, if you are decided to say play at a certain week, then consider the rest of the week how your players starts to perform. Then you can be sure because there is no clear cut option. So it's going to be hard now.
Yeah. I think it's really tricky as someone who's not played any boosts yet, and this hasn't been how I've been in previous seasons, but this season I've really felt like if in doubt, don't play a boost and wait for more information at the start of the season. I did think about triple in Game Week 4 and didn't. And one of the things I've realised that's really tricky is like midfield dynamos. I think this upcoming game week might be the best opportunity to play midfield dynamos in the rest of this set. I'm not sure anything is gonna match it because obviously double Norwich mids. You want a good Norwich fixture when you've got 2 of them. So you've got Sarah. I've got Sarah and Rowe, and they've got Rotherham. With Southampton playing Sunderland away, Armstrong is a less attractive captain option. And obviously Leeds have got Sheffield Wednesday and Leicester have got Hull. Now, if you've got Mavididi, that makes it even more attractive to you this week. And I'm looking at this and thinking I could do Teller and James out for -4 and play midfield dynamos this week. But this is the thing in terms of waiting for more information. If I wait, I might know whether Nonto or Sinistera is the best option. I honestly feel like I could get that decision very wrong if I played the boost and then it's more costly. So
Yes.
I'm torn about midfield dynamos, and it's also a week that could be really good for triple with Pirro, Sarah, and Dewsbury Hall. So If I didn't play midfield dynamos, I'd also be very tempted by triple. The other week that's good for triple is game week 11.
Oh,
As you mentioned, Abhishek. So, but then because then you can play you can do Armstrong at home to Rotherham and maybe Pirro and someone else. Those are the two standout weeks for me at the moment. Part the bus I've not really thought about, to be honest. So I'm not going to say anything on that for now. But that's the third boost I'm going to play. That's for sure.
I think before we move on, just a minute. I think Cardiff and Watford do have games in 11. I think they play each other. It's been blank in the Gaffr website, fixture website. But
I'm still
I
not
think-
sure what the deal is with that. But yeah,
Yeah, I
let's move
think
on.
they play each other. So that's the only thing. Yeah.
Okay.
let-
Final question from
Yeah.
FPL Maestro 1. So I sold Pro to Sergeant. Is it possibly a good idea to immediately reverse that move?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It feels awful, doesn't it, when that happens? Because you're like, I've wasted 2 transfers, and I know I would feel tempted to go somewhere other than Pirot because it feels wrong, because you're almost like admitting the mistake to yourself in your mind. But yeah, go back to Pirot. It's
Yeah,
the
but
right
like
thing to do.
it's an interesting like
Yeah.
psychological thing, but
Yeah.
if you think that's a good idea, you shouldn't like be too proud to do it.
Yeah,
And
but-
I've been like that many times in fantasy games, and
Yeah,
it's
I've been
almost every time it's a bad idea to not do it.
Yeah, the only
plus
silver
the Google
lining
gets
that
there.
you can, the only silver lining that you can get is that Sergeant scored 12 points, so you get 2 points more than Pirot. That's a win-win situation. So you don't have to feel bad for yourself that he got injured. But yeah,
Yeah, it's bad luck. I mean, he did only get
Yeah.
8 points, though. I don't know if someone vice captained him, but he got 8 points. But yeah.
oh, 8 points. Yeah, I vice captain. So
Yeah. But it wasn't a big difference. So
yeah, that's 2 points just. So yeah, don't feel bad about it.
Yeah,
After
and
all,
because he's injured now, it's like
Yeah.
if he wasn't injured, it would be like a bit worse. But now he's injured, you have an excuse.
Don't have to do that.
Okay, that's all the questions.
Cool. All right, let's have a look at our plans for game week 5. So, David, yours is up first. What are your initial thoughts and plans?
Yeah, I'm not sure because I'm looking at like making at least 2 transfers. So the thing I was thinking about was going Mavididi, and the other guy was Lusa, because there was like something like the manager said about like discipline or something.
Yeah, I think Loser will come back in and start the next game. I think it was just like a one-time disciplinary thing.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's a problem there long term, but yeah.
But it would be like to free up funds to get Nonto for Mavididi. But I'm also like thinking, should I also get Whittaker for Semedo for a hit? Like, because I just want him in my team, but I'm not sure if I should wait. But if I do, I will get the big mention dilemma as always. And I want to play 4 defenders this week. I want to play Ashby because I had him in the starting 11 game week 1 and 2 and bench 3 and 4. So like I've done it all the way wrong, and now I want to start him against Bristol. And so, now that Manning has given me lots of reasons to bias, I don't want to bench him. Davis is unbenchable, I think, and Mumba is playing at home to Blackburn. So I don't know what to do actually. At least now my captaincy is probably Armstrong and Perot, and I was thinking maybe Rowe, but I'm not sure. I wish I played triple this week and not last week, but yeah.
It's a strong team, David. I like it.
Yeah, I'm happy with it, but like it's almost a bit too strong.
Oh no, my team's too good.
The tragedy. No. Yeah, I'll figure something out, but yeah. It's a bit like luxury problems in my club at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it.
All right, Abhishek. What are you thinking?
Yeah, so 2 issues there are in my squad. One, Tell has left the club, and Sargent's injury. I might the move that I will be doing. I'm not being able to do the row move, but I will sell Tela for Noto. I think because I'm inclining towards playing a boost in game week 5, because I'm not going to get another decent week to play a boost, because I have to see what plans that I have to make according to it, because there are certain players that might get injured, that are not injured now, and might drop off in form, might get in. So Game Week 5 looks like a decent week to play the boost with the squad that I have. The 11 that's going to start is Hazard in goal, Mumbai in defense, Davies and Manning. If Sargent is out, then Ranking Costello will come in, who is first on my bench. The midfield four is from Jair, Sarah, Dewsbury Hall. Tella will become Gnotto. And the two forwards, Spiro and Broadhead, are assured of starts. If Sargent is indeed injured, we haven't got full reports, but if Sargent is too injured, then Ranking Costello will come. So I will play traditional 4-4-2. My general consensus of the boost is triple triple, because Norwich play Rotherham, Leeds play Sheffield Wednesday, and I have plum players to punish those two teams. Really good players to punish those two teams. So triple triple is on the cards for me to play. Haven't decided it fully, but looking likely that I'm going to play that boost. My three captains will be Piro, Gnoto, and Sara. So yeah, that's me for game week 5.
Cool. And here's me. Whatever I choose to do, it will involve selling Teller to a Leeds midfielder, I'm pretty sure. But I've got to work out. Yeah, I think first decision is midfield dynamos or not. Because as I said before, I'm not convinced. I'm not sure if there's going to be a better week to do it. But more information. I still feel like I want more information. So I'm not sure. So that's the first decision. And then if I decide not to play midfield dynamos, then it's do I play triple or not, which again feels like it could go either way at the minute. So I'm not sure where I'm going to land on the boost discussion, but I'm pretty sure it's going to involve Teletendonto or Sinistera. And if I play midfield dynamos, I will obviously be upgrading James to someone. I've got 4 million in the bank currently, so I've got lots of money to play with. And again, that could feed into my, decision of Nonto versus Sinistera. If I do go for midfield dynamos, maybe I'll go for Sinistera to get the 5th midfielder I want for a bit more money. So I'm not sure yet where I'll land on all of that, and it's going to require some thought. If I do not play midfield dynamos or triple, I will probably captain Pirot, vice captain Sarah, emergency Dewsbury Hall, I think, probably.
Yep.
Yeah, see, midfield dynamos requires a -4 and benching Broadhead, so that's the thing. That's the tricky thing with it. So yeah, we'll see.
I just thought of something. If I get Whittaker in addition to those two players, I will have a difficulty playing. But if I play Goldfest, I can bench one of them.
Don't do that. Yeah, I'll also have to decide which 4th defender I want to play, because I've got Manning's obviously Manning, but he's got the toughest fixture, and then the other 3 have got decent fixtures. But yeah, that's another decision to make. And I'm also not sure whether I'll play Dieng or Ledecky. But we'll see. All right. That is everything. Any final words from you guys?
No, I think we've covered most of it. I think. We finally have one Thursday Night Wars for game week 4, so we are off the board in the winning column.
Yes, yes, that is nice. We will give a full standings update this week before game week 5 gets underway. Yeah. Who's winning our mini league so far, David? Do you know?
Our mini league, let's see. It's You're My Dewsbury Hall. That's a team name. Alexander Rubin.
4th overall?
He is 4th overall, yeah. He played Goldfest this week.
Nice, very good.
Ooh.
Yeah. So well done. See if you can keep it up. Only 2 boosts played. So we'll see.
Many great scores. They're like 90s, and 111 is the best one from not drag. Triple. Yeah, triple on Manning. Bad lad. how you
Fair
did it.
play. That is a successful triple.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep.
That's really good. That's really
Very,
good.
very well done. That's so
Yeah.
good. Yeah, and also Pemberton did the same.
Yeah.
Manning. How are they coming up with this? That's crazy.
No, that's a good decision, I guess. It's come
Yeah.
off really well.
Yeah.
In terms of
Yeah.
content plans, we may or may not do a Game Week 5 reactions video next week. It is international break after the next game week, so it might be a good time for us to do a Super League episode.
Yep.
But we will obviously keep you guys posted, and we will definitely be doing something during that time. Cool. Is that everything?
Yeah, it's everything.
All right. In that case, it's time to say goodbye and see you next time. So goodbye from me.
Ha det bra.
Namaste from me.